Hello guys, this is a list of creepypastas that I just happen to like. They're in no specific order, so please enjoy. Number 1. Bad Dream. The story follows a conversation between a father and daughter after the daughter has had a bad dream. Dad, I had a bad dream. You blink your eyes and you pull yourself up to see your clock at 3:30 in the morning. Do you want to climb in bed and tell me about it? No, Dad. The illness of the situation wakes you up more. You can barely make out your daughter's pale form in the darkness of your room. Why not, sweetie? Because in my dream, when I told you about the dream, the thing wearing mommy's skin sat up. For a moment you feel paralyzed. You cannot take your eyes off your daughter. The covers behind you begin to shift. Number 2. Autopilot. Have you ever forgotten your phone? When did you realize you'd forgotten it? I'm guessing you didn't just smack yourself on the forehead and exclaim crap for nothing. The realization probably didn't dawn on you spontaneously. More likely you reached for your phone into your pocket or handbag and were momentarily confused by it not being there. Then you did a mental recap of the morning's event. In my case, my phone's alarm woke me as normal, but I realized the battery was lower than I expected. It was a new phone and had an annoying habit of leaving applications running that drained the battery. So I put it on the charger while I showered and set it into my bag like normal. This was a momentary slip of the routine, but it was all it took. Once in the shower, my brain got back into routine mode. It follows every morning, and that was it. This wasn't me just being clumsy. As I later researched, your brain doesn't work just on one level, it works on many. Like when you're walking somewhere, you think about the destination and avoiding hazards, but you don't really have to think about keeping your legs moving. I wasn't thinking about routinely breathing. I wasn't thinking about whether I should grab coffee on the drive to work. I just did it. I was wondering whether I'd have to finish on time to pick my daughter Emily up from the nursery or get stuck with another late fee. This was the thing. There's a level of your brain that just deals with routine, so that the rest of the brain can think about other things. Most people call this autopilot. But there's danger there. If you have a break in your routine, your ability to remember and account for the break is only as good as your ability to stop your brain going into routine mode. My ability to remember my phone being on the counter is only as reasonable as my ability to stop my brain entering morning routine mode, which would dedicate that my phone is actually in my bag. But I didn't stop my brain from entering routine mode. I got in the shower as normal, routine started, exception forgotten. My brain was back on the routine. I showered, shaved, the radio forecasted amazing weather, I gave Emily her breakfast and loaded her into the car. And that was the routine. It didn't matter that my phone was on the counter, charging silently. My brain was in the routine. The routine was my phone was in my bag. This is why I forgot my phone. Not clumsiness, not negligence, nothing more than my brain entering routine mode and overriding the exception. I left for work, the sweaty hot day already. The bad sun had been burning since before my treacherous absent phone had woken me. The steering wheel was burning hot to a touch when I sat down. I think I even heard Emily shift over behind my driver's seat to get out of the glare. But I got to work, submitted a report at 10 in the morning, and not until I took a quick coffee break that I realized my phone was not in my pocket. The illusion shattered. I did a mental restep. I remember the dying battery. I remember putting on the charger. I remember leaving it there. My phone was on the counter. Autopilot had been disengaged. Again, there lies the danger. Until you have that moment that you reach for your phone and shatter the illusion, the part of the brain that is still in routine mode has no reason to question the fact of the routine. That's why it's routine. The act of repetition. It's not as if anyone can say, why did you remember your phone? Why did it occur? How could you forget? You must be negligent. This is to miss the point. My brain was telling me that the routine was complete as normal, despite the fact that it wasn't. It wasn't that I forgot my phone, according to my brain, and according to the routine, my phone was in my bag. Why would I think to question it? Why would I check? Why would I suddenly remember out of nowhere that my phone was on the counter? My brain was wired into the routine, and the routine that was my phone was in my bag. The day continued to bake. The morning haze gave way to relentless fever heat of the afternoon. The tarmac bubbled. the direct beams of heat threatening to crack the pavement. People swapping their coffees for iced smoothies, jackets discarded, sleeves rolled up, ties loosened. The parks were slowly filled with sunbathers, barbecues, window frames threatened to warp, the thermometer continued to swell, and thank God the officers were air-conditioned. But as ever, the furnace of the day gave way to a cool evening. Another day, another dollar. Still cursing myself for forgetting the phone, I drove home. Day's heat had baked the inside of the car, releasing a horrible smell from somewhere. When I'd arrived in the driveway, the stones crunching comfortably underneath my tires, my wife greeted me at the door. "Where's Emily?" As if the phone wasn't bad enough, after everything, I'd left Emily at the nursery. I immediately sped back to the nursery, got to the door, started practicing my excuses, wondering vainly if I could charm my way out of a late fee. I saw a piece of paper stuck to the door. "Due to vandalism overnight, please use the side door, today only." Overnight? What? The door was fine this morning. I froze. My knees shook. Vandals, a change in routine, my phone was on the counter. I hadn't been here this morning. I'd driven past, I was drinking my coffee. I did not drop Emily off. She moved her seat, I hadn't seen her in the mirror. She'd fallen asleep out of the bad sun. She didn't speak while I drove past her nursery. She changed her routine, and I'd forgotten to drop her off. 9 hours. That car. The baking sun. No air. No water. No power. No help. The heat. That smell. I walked to the car door, numb, shocked. I opened the door. My phone was on the counter, and my daughter was dead. Number 3. The Rake. In 2003, in the northeast United States, there was an incident involving a strange, human-like creature which attracted a lot of attention from local media. As the story intel broke, most online and written documents were mysteriously destroyed. Although these accounts were gone, sightings of the creature continued to become more and more frequent. What's odd is that many people reacted differently to the creature. In fact, emotions ranged from traumatic levels of fright to an almost childlike sense of curiosity. The sightings continued, so the hunt for more information began. Finally, in 2006, a collaboration of various researchers made a chilling discovery that they had unearthed nearly 24 documents dating from the 12th century to present day, all of them describing various sightings of a creature called the Rake. The sightings that stood out the most was a woman's account that dated from the same year of the discovery. A woman awoke in the middle of the night and accidentally ended up waking her husband as well. She apologized, and her husband turned around to look at her. He gasped and immediately grabbed his wife, fearing for her safety. At the foot of their bed, sitting facing away from them, was the infamous creature, which was described to look like a big hairless dog. While the couple's eyes were still adjusted to the darkness, the creature sprang up and crouched less than a foot away from the husband's face. It stared at him for a while, then made a dash for the children's bedroom. The terrified couple immediately ran after it, fearing for the worst for the children. But they were too late. They ran straight to their daughter's room, only to find her mutilated and close to death. As their daughter was dying, her final words were, "He is the Rake." Then mysteriously, as he had appeared, the Rake disappeared, never to be seen again. Number 4. The Keyhole. This legend involves a man who checked into his hotel for a few nights. After he retained his room key, the woman at the front desk warned him that there would be a door with no number on the way to his room. She explained that the locked door was used for storage, and that she had warned them not to go into the room or even look inside. The man, although intrigued, went straight to his room without asking any more questions. By the second night, his curiosity had gotten the better of him, and he tried turning the doorknob, but found it to be locked, just as the woman had claimed. Not to be deterred so easily, the man proceeded to peep through the keyhole. Beyond the door was what looked like a normal hotel room, exactly like his own. However, in the corner stood a very pale woman with her head resting against the wall, opposed to the door. Confused, the man returned to his room, and on the third day, the man decided to look through the keyhole once more. This time all he saw was the color red. Nothing else, just a constant, deep shade of red. Maybe the woman had suspected that someone was spying on her and had blocked it with something. The man decided that he would ask the woman at the front desk. She sighed and asked if the man had looked through the keyhole. After he confirmed that he did, The woman proceeded to tell him the whole story. Many years ago, she claimed, a man had murdered his wife in the very room. Her ghost now haunts it. Her ghost is said to be very pale, except for her eyes, which are bloodshot red. Number 5. The Couch. I was very young, only about 4 or 5 at most. This is before either of my siblings were born, so it was just me, my mom, and my dad. Living in our little house. It was very quaint. We were a young family without much money. Most of our furniture was second-hand. It was in the middle of the day, summer, hot, and boring. I was playing with marbles by myself on the thin carpet beside our huge, old, flower-patterned couch. Mom was down the hall in the kitchen, and Dad was at work. Why I was trying to roll marbles around the carpet, I really don't know. We had a perfectly good wood floor after all. But there I was, swishing the marbles back and forth, happily bouncing them into each other. Then in my own enthusiasm, I rolled too hard. My favorite marble, the clear, ruby-red one, zipped into the dark space under the couch and was lost. Dad wasn't home, and he was the only one strong enough to move the huge couch for me, so I'd have to get the marble back myself. I reached my hand under the couch, tentatively at first, then deeper, encountering no marbles. I pulled my hand out in disappointment. Then a hand reached out from underneath after me. I remember the image vividly, and I suspect I always will. It was a slim hand with tapered fingers, a woman's hand. It was gnarled and wrinkled, as if age, and it was dead black. Of course, back then, I didn't know what a corpse was, so I didn't know what the black meant. The hand that reached out for me as far as it could, which was just up to its wrist, then retreated underneath the couch. Then it emerged again, this time pushing with it a crumpled up plastic bag with a logo on it. I didn't really recognize the logo. It waited as if it expected me to take the bag. Then when I didn't, it pulled it back underneath the couch and was gone. I got up, walked down to the kitchen, told my mom what had happened. Why didn't I run screaming, or at least run? I really don't know. All I can say is, I was a little kid. A hand reaching out from underneath the couch at me didn't seem like a huge deal. I hadn't yet learned what was and was not supposed to be. Mom was skeptical, but walked me back to the couch and explained how I was probably imagining things. She even reached her hand underneath the couch to convince me that nothing was down there. Later, Dad lifted the couch up from me, and the only thing under there was, of course, my missing marble. Plus a few more marbles I didn't remember losing. But here's the scary part. For years I remembered this. I even developed a weird fantasy of my little people living underneath the couch. And I, in my childlike innocence, believed that they would catch me and take me away if I ever reacted to their domain again. Then, as I grew older, I wrote off the memory as a dream. As a child, cute but silly. Then a few years ago, I re-encountered the story to my mother. She gave me a funny look and told me she remembered it because, after all, she had been there. She told me that she remembered me coming to her in the middle of the day and telling her about the hand under the couch. I remember being highly disturbed by my story, since I was an extremely quiet, well-behaved kid who did never lie. She told me about the couch itself. According to her, she and Dad had gotten the couch from an estate of an old woman who'd actually died on it. This is the first time I've ever heard of this. But she explained why I got rid of the couch within a month of my story. But here's the part that truly frightens me, even to this day. The part that I have to try so hard to get out of my mind some nights. Remember that bag? The bag the hand pushed towards me? I'd never forgotten the logo that was on it. And recently, I saw the same logo again, on what looked like to be a type of bag in a hardware store. It was a bag of utility razors. Hello guys, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, and if you wish to see more of this, subscribe to my channel. If you have anything that you would like me to do a video on, any topic, please leave it in the comments below. Thank you, and have a nice night.